So first off, before I get into this video, I just want to really thank you guys. This channel has just been exceeding my expectations every step of the way. I think recently I went from, in like a 24-hour period, I got 1,000 more subscribers, which was beyond what I ever thought this channel's growth could be. Last time I checked, I think I'm around 5,700. So wow, thank you guys sincerely. If you've stuck with the channel, or if you're a new subscriber, just thank you so much for that. I'm sincerely grateful. The channel is growing and becoming something I never thought it was going to be. So thank you. That said, a lot of the comments have been extremely positive, and thank you guys for all that. Really helps motivate me and make me want to continue doing this, to have all the support and everything. At the same time, a lot of comments have also said the videos are a little long, which I completely understand. So I'm going to try to do a little different form of editing than I usually do. I'll probably do points as single clips and just edit them together. So it's not going to be one continuous string as much as it was before. I do kind of prefer, though, a somewhat quality like that. One reason I really enjoy like Let's Play channels is that I think you get the personality of the person shining through. You get them, an unscripted, real version of that person, and I prefer that better than, if I made a script and I just put images in front of, and what I'm talking about. I think it's much better to do it as just a conversation. So I know I'm talking about the length of the videos, and I'm going on for a while here at this introduction, but I just thought that was important to talk about, that I will be editing the videos a little differently. So speaking of that, my initial plan for this was to just do one long video that was going to cover everything from what was in the Direct to speculation about the Direct to some interesting hints and stuff that was happening in the Direct or outside the Direct. And then also talking about leaks and what leakers are still in play, what leakers should be watched, who has credibility, etc., etc. I'm actually going to split this up into 3 separate videos, I think that's the better way to do it. I think that's going to make for more concise videos and more focused videos. So what I'm going to do is this video is just going to be speculation, so more what's in the Direct, what helps us with speculation that was in the Direct more specifically. I'm going to do another video about the hints that were in the Direct, so things that could be hinting at a character, potentially stuff Sakurai is intentionally dropping, things that were also not in the Direct but have happened since the Direct or around the same time, and then another video about which leakers are still in play, which leaks seem the most credible, that sort of thing, and maybe give kind of a, based on all that, where I'm at personally with my own roster predictions. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So that Direct was pretty incredible. It really exceeded my expectations. I was thinking we weren't going to get too many more characters because Sakurai said not to expect too many more characters, but we got Simon and K. Rool in that Direct and 3 Echo Fighters. I was, kind of guessing at Simon because he'd pretty much been leaked by a very credible leaker, but, I was shocked that we got both Simon and K. Rool in one Direct, plus 3 Echo Fighters. So altogether we got 5 characters in that Direct. I was really thinking we weren't going to get very many Echo Fighters at all. Again, Sakurai said not to expect too many more characters, so I thought that applied across the board, but I guess it doesn't apply to Echo Fighters. At least it appears that way to me. And I'm just thinking it's not slowing down. We have, until December, and it feels like we'll probably get another Direct or two, maybe not necessarily a Smash Direct, but maybe a Nintendo Direct that'll have a Smash portion of it, and we'll probably get a few more fighters in there. So, I wouldn't be shocked at counting Echoes, 8 to 12 more characters, something like that, wouldn't really surprise me. Before I was thinking we'd maybe get 6 to 8 total. So yeah, really surprising after, that Direct where we're at. And my conditions for Echo Fighters has totally changed. Before I was thinking, I was kind of guessing at like Chrom and Impa, that was pretty much it. Now I'm thinking, third-party Echoes are a thing now. We got Richter, so I'm thinking third-party Echoes are going to be a thing. So Shadow and Ken seem really likely. I just think we'll probably get at least like 4 more unique fighters. That would be like my minimum, honestly. Potentially 6. Unique fighters could happen. I'm thinking probably 6 Echo Fighters, if not like 8. So, I'm actually thinking we may get more characters than we're we initially thought, at least I initially thought, at E3. So one interesting thing about Echo Fighters that we found out here is that, so Crom is technically an echo of Roy, at least that's what it says officially on like the website and stuff, but he has like his up B is it's Ike's, so he's kind of like a mashup of different Fire Emblem characters, so that makes characters like Dixie Kong way more likely to be able to be Echo Fighters. I think the parameters for what makes someone an Echo Fighter are really fuzzy and much looser than even we thought after E3. So I think Sakurai probably did this because, so like he's called Dark Pit and Lucina Echo Fighters. He didn't call characters like Pichu or Young Link, or, you could go further and say like Falco and Ganondorf. Obviously they've been kind of decloned over the years, but those characters aren't considered Echo Fighters. So I think what's happening is Sakurai does, he wanted to bring everyone back. There's the everyone is here thing. So he wanted to bring everyone back. Now, if he just called a bunch of past characters Echo Fighters, it would sort of diminish them maybe a little bit. So he didn't want to do that. He wanted them to be like, yes, I am actually bringing all the characters back. This is the full roster. I'm not giving you, half versions of those characters or something. So that happened. At the same time, I don't think he wants to stop himself from adding semi-clone characters. And he also, I don't think, wants to have us think that semi-clone characters are, that he's going to count them like he does unique fighters, that they're going to add to the character count of the game. I think that might feel dishonest to him or something. So a character like Crom, who's really more of a semi-clone, he just doesn't, he's calling him an Echo Fighter just because he doesn't want to count him towards the full roster count or act like, oh yeah, he's just as much of a newcomer as Simon or K. Rool or Ridley. He's obviously less work than that. So I think that's why these grouped with Echo Fighters, while characters like Young Link and Pichu are not. I think it's really just, circumstances surrounding when these characters were added to Smash. Crom was added after the term Echo Fighters, whereas like Young Link was added before that term. So I think that's why that distinction is there. We found out this time that Sakurai is announcing that he's going to show all characters before the game is released. I think this is a good idea. In these days, with the internet and YouTube channels like mine, the characters do kind of get found out ahead of time. It does happen with leaks, and people just are speculating and sometimes discover like, yeah, that's probably what we're getting. So to reveal all the characters beforehand is probably the right move. I think if he waits until the game's released with some characters hidden in the game for us to discover, we're going to know about it beforehand. Somebody's going to get the game early and leak it. It happens all the time. So that's probably the right way to go about it. So a lot of people have been saying like, oh, this means there's no DLC because he's going to reveal all the fighters. I don't think that's what he meant. I'm pretty sure what he meant was all the base roster characters will be revealed. That's never happened in a Smash game before. For Brawl, there were some characters that, although the internet found out, were not officially revealed on the website until after the game was out. Same thing with Smash 4. I think characters like Duck Hunt, that's one I just remember, while again it was leaked on the internet and everyone seemed to know about it, didn't appear on the website, wasn't officially revealed until I think after the game was out. So, that's the sort of thing I think that's happening here. He just wants to reveal all the characters so that we can watch those directs and the trailers and stuff for characters and be surprised then, rather than be surprised when we unlock the character in the game, because just the way the world is today, I don't think there's a way to surprise people anymore with, content in the game, especially for something as big as Smash Brothers. So now that we have Simon in the game, this is just kind of cool. We have all the three main characters from the Captain N cartoon. I don't think this was intentional or anything. I think those were just big games back in the NES day, Kid Icarus, Castlevania, and Mega Man. So they were chosen for the Captain N cartoon. And if you're making a game like Smash Brothers and you want to add all the big NES characters, it's likely those characters will get in. But it's just cool that we have them all. I know people have been talking about that pretty much since Pit and Mega Man were together. They were like, oh man, when are we going to get Simon? So it's just neat that we got that. Another character that makes something kind of neat like that sort of happen is that we got Crom finally. And if you followed Smash 4 speculation, you'd know about the Gamatsu leak. And there's two characters in the Gamatsu leak that didn't happen for Smash 4, though we all kind of think it, at least most people in the Smash community think that it was real information, and the reason those characters didn't show up was circumstantial. Sakurai originally intended to add Chrom, but chose instead to do Robin and Lucina. That we know from like an interview with Sakurai. And then Chorus Kids or Chorus Men or some Rhythm Heaven rep was leaked by Gamatsu, and it never happened. But we did have Chorus or Rhythm Heaven Smash Run enemies, and I think that was the only series that didn't have any representatives that had enemies in Smash Run, so it's likely that that series was originally intended to have a rep. I think also in the code for Smash 4 there was like a Rhythm Heaven icon or something. So just really interesting that we're basically one character away from having all the characters that Gamatsu told us was intended for Smash 4. So that adds a little bit more credibility or possibility to getting a Rhythm Heaven rep. Potentially Chorus Kids or Chorus Men if that was who was intended for Smash 4. Also, there's a little bit of a hint at Karate Joe. I'm going to go over this in another video about hints, but we could potentially be seeing him or some other Rhythm Heaven rep. It just adds a little bit more to the fact that Gametsu was probably right, and we could be seeing those characters showing up this time around. Another interesting thing about Chrom is that he was a Mii costume, and so is King K. Rool, so is Inkling. So it does seem like Mii costumes could point at potential characters. Some characters that seem really likely right now because of leaks and other things who have Mii costumes are Isabelle and Skull Kid. Skull Kid had the Majora's Mask was a Mii costume, and Isabelle had a Mii costume, so we could potentially be getting them. I also, again, I'm a little biased towards Gino, and I'll probably have to mention that every time I talk about him, but he had a Mii costume, and he also had splash art as if he was a newcomer character when they revealed that Mii costume. So it does appear that the Mii costumes are where they're, looking to add a lot of the newcomers from. So I do think that that is a really good place to speculate on who we might be getting. Mii costumes, of course, don't always mean the character is going to get in the game this time, and we've had some characters actually get deconfirmed that were Mii costumes. Takamaru's an assist trophy, Knuckles is an assist trophy, and they both had Mii costumes. So it's not like a one-to-one, but I still think it's a good place to look for who we might be getting in Smash. So one character that did get deconfirmed who also had a Mii costume, actually the character I was guessing was probably going to get revealed in the Direct, so I was wrong about that one, was Ashley. So Ashley was shown to be an assist trophy, but she was shown a little oddly to be an assist trophy. So when they went over all the assist trophies, they kind of had like their names at the bottom of the screen, and when they showed Ashley's, they didn't say her name. They didn't put it at the bottom. They actually showed it while the Bomberman assist was running around the stage, so it's a little unclear. I know some people have kind of been holding out hope for like, oh, they didn't necessarily deconfirm her. I'd advise against that. While that's possible, I do remember from Smash 4 speculation people really holding out hope for Ridley after we basically had Ridley deconfirmed. I've also heard a theory about how they deconfirmed Waluigi in the E3 Direct and said he's an assist trophy, but that Waluigi's a tricky character and he's just tricking us or something. While these theories have potential to be true, I think it's really, really low, and I think it's probably a bad idea to hold out hope for these characters. Just because it'll probably end in bigger disappointment than if you just lower your expectations now and kind of accept the characters probably aren't in the game. So there was a few other character deconfirmations that happened in the Direct. Some we already kind of knew about from just watching the demo, like Crystal. Some that I don't think a ton of people were guessing at, but they are deconfirmed, characters like Zero and Alucard. And then there were some that people really were guessing at. Mimikyu, for instance. That was sort of already leaked by our really likely leakers. Vergiben and LOK18 both said not to expect Mimikyu, Lycanroc, or Decidueye. They basically said they're not in the game, and we have, confirmation Mimikyu is a Pokeball Pokemon, so not our Pokemon choice. And there were some other ones. We had Shovel Knight, who was a big character for the ballot, but really awesome that he's even in the game. I think that's so cool. I think Yacht Club should be, super proud that they're, being represented in Smash in any way. So, if you're a big fan of Shovel Knight, I'm a big fan of Shovel Knight. Just be happy he's in the game. I think this is pretty cool. I know it stinks when a character gets deconfirmed. I remember Little Mac was one of my top 3 choices back in the Brawl days, and I remember when he got deconfirmed as an assist. So, maybe in the future someday, but it's just cool that they're in Smash at all. Another character deconfirmation, one that's a little less concrete, I guess, was a character I was guessing at. That's Mach Rider. They showed Mach Rider's song when they went over the music tracks. Obviously, that song's been in the game since, I think, like Melee, so you know, it doesn't necessarily deconfirm that Mach Rider's in the game. I just feel like they wouldn't show the song if he was a playable character or she was a playable character. I know that's a little fuzzy with him or her, but I don't think they would show that if they planned on revealing Mach at some point as a playable fighter. They probably just wouldn't. They'd probably hide everything to do with Mach. So, you know, I'm taking it as a soft deconfirmation of Mach Rider, which is unfortunate because I thought my theory was pretty cool about it, but hey, whatever, it happens. Another like semi-deconfirmed thing is the lipstick has been shown to be back, so I'm not thinking lip is in, which I'm a huge fan of Tetris Attack, so I would love a Panel Day Pawn rep, but looks like if with the lipstick back, it's unlikely, because that would probably be Lip's, you know, special you know, weapon, and I would think it would be weird if other characters could have it. It'd be like if the Master Sword was a weapon and Link used it. I don't know, I don't see it happening. But, you know, soft deconfirmation could happen still, but I'm just thinking it's not likely. And then there was some other character deconfirmations, or, again, kind of soft deconfirmations, that you had to kind of search around the Smash Brothers website after the Direct to find. One was, we saw Mrs. Pacman on the Pac-Land stage. So just like Proto Man being in Mega Man's Final Smash, while we do have precedence to have third-party Echo fighters such as Richter, and I'm kind of guessing at like Shadow and Ken now. There are, you know, we're not going to get one for everybody. So Miss Pac-Man, I'm guessing, is just on the stage for Pac-Land. Another one that was really hidden, you had to like, at least for me to find it, I had to like right-click on the New Donk City stage and like view an image because otherwise it was like covered up. But was Captain Toad, unfortunately, because I kind of wanted Captain Toad, but it looks like he's just part of that stage. So, you know, again, soft deconfirmation. I know like Toon Link is on the Spirit Track stage and gets replaced when, you know, Toon Link is actually fighting on there. So it's possible these characters show up. But unlike Toon Link, they weren't, you know, Toon Link was in the game before the Spirit Tracks stage showed up, so I'm kind of thinking, you know, if Captain Toad was a returning vet, you know, there'd be reason to be okay with him being on a stage. He'd probably still be in the game, obviously with everyone here, you know, whatever, I'm making hypotheticals. But I think showing him on the stage like that probably means he's deconfirmed, because, you know, I just find it unlikely that they'd add a character and add them to a stage. Speaking of stages, we apparently got the total number of stages, at least in the base game, at 103. There are some spots down at the bottom. There's like 6 spots for more stages. I'm guessing that's DLC spots, because Sakurai seemed pretty adamant about that 103 was the number of stages in this game, which also kind of takes away the possibility of some characters who... you know, some newcomers from series that aren't represented in Smash yet. Again, at least not until DLC, such as Isaac or a Rhythm Heaven rep, who were both pretty, you know, likely characters. They, again, could still happen, and they could totally show up without a stage. In Smash 64, you know, Ness and Captain Falcon don't have stages, and Melee, Marth and Roy don't have stages. So, you know, it could happen. Not a total deconfirmation, but a little less likely to get characters like that. And just, I think that is our total count for stages. Some people have said, oh, there's 6 spots, so they're going to reveal 6 more. Sakurai was pretty clear about 103 being our final count. So there was that blurred out mode that Sakurai briefly teased. Ooh, one of them's blurred out. That's adult mode.
As you can see, there's
and it appears people have kind of figured out probably the name of it, which is Spirits. This seems to fit with what's going on with, you know, the characters dying in all the trailers, something that I thought was pretty kind of crazy that Nintendo was doing. It was interesting, and I noticed that theme. I don't know if D really died, but he definitely got swiped to the side. You know, Luigi definitely died, or, you know, had his soul taken at least. And it appears Ridley killed Mario and Mega Man. So calling this, whatever this mode is, it's probably the mode where you unlock characters that they've kind of been hinting at. You know, having the name Spirits kind of makes sense. People basically, I think, just looked really closely at the blurred out image and could, you know, read the characters that it actually is. So if it is Spirits mode, my guess is it's some sort of one-player mode. It's probably the way to unlock characters. It probably has something to do with the characters dying in those trailers. It probably has something to do with a heroes and villains theme. We saw all that artwork right before King K. Rool's reveal, so... You know, that seems like they wouldn't just make that art just for that reveal. I mean, maybe they would. I mean, they're making the whole trailers. But it seemed like it could be used in other places as it was for specifically other games. So that might be something that happens in there. There's been this hint at this theme of heroes and villains. So I think LOK18 talked about that as being something. Maybe he just saw that art, but potentially he knows a little bit more, and that might be what Spirit Mode has to do with heroes versus villains somehow. It's also possible, just my own speculation here, that like you're trying to collect the spirits of the characters and maybe put them in the trophies. Maybe villains have taken the spirits of the characters and you put them back into their trophies, as they've always kind of done something with trophies, or Smash 64 kind of had like action figures out of a toy box, but they've pretty much solidified it with trophies since Melee and with amiibos and stuff. So I'm guessing you're probably trying to get their spirit back to make them playable, which would be pretty cool. It also appears we have like some sort of boss thing going on there. They talked about the Monster Hunter dragon being like a boss and an assist trophy. Dracula got called kind of a boss, so characters like that might become bosses in this mode, which would be pretty cool. I'm excited to find out what this is, and I feel like if we get another direct, that'll probably be highlighted. So there's been quite a few theories about the total number of characters we're probably going to get, and like some ways we can use the information we have to figure out how many more we have left to get, and I'm kind of thinking none of them are probably true. I mean, the numbers that they have come up with may be the final count, but I don't think this is a good way to try to figure it out, but I just felt like I should go over them. So one thing is people were talking about, oh, look at the big artwork banner for all the Smash characters, because we can try to find like holes in it where more characters could fit. They've been changing it every time, so they're totally just, they move the characters around. So, where there were holes before King K. Rool and Crom and them showed up is not where these characters showed up. They move stuff around and fit them, so no way to tell based on that banner. Another thing was people have just been kind of taking how many characters we have, taking the character select screen, putting it down to like I guess a reasonable size or something, and trying to figure out how many more you could fit. It appears there's like you do 6 more unique fighters now that we know that Echo fighters can be like put on the same little square as their counterpart character and selected that way. So there's like you could do 6 more if you do that, and then it was like, I don't remember the exact number, like 12 or something. If you have Echoes and unique newcomers next to each other. I think it's arbitrary. I mean, Sakurai could make that any size he wants. In the 3DS version of Smash, we had like a DLC button. So, obviously I think we're probably going to get DLC characters. I think Nintendo would be crazy not to. It just, prints money basically. So, I think at the end of the day, we'll either get a DLC button after DLC anyway to get more characters, trying to figure out how many we'll have in the base game. The roster doesn't have to be perfectly square. Sakurai has never made that a thing. So, I think it's just a poor way to try to figure out how many more we have, but there you go. I am guessing, however much they're guessing at is probably pretty close to what we'll get, simply because, it just seems like we're not going to get a ton more characters. I'm guessing like 4 to 6 more uniques, and then maybe like 6 to 8 more Echoes. That would be my guess, just based on getting 5 characters here at this Direct. Sakurai saying not too many more characters, how much time we have until December, and Sakurai saying he's going to reveal all the characters before the game comes out. So that's, somewhere in that ballpark, which is what this says, but, I don't think it holds too much water. So another potential way to guess at the final roster count that people are saying is to look at the new Smashdown mode. You basically have to play through all the characters in the game. So people are saying that the game would have to be have a roster size that's divisible by 4 if 4 players are playing it. It's possible people could also play 2-player Smashdown or 3-player Smashdown, in which case the final roster size would have to be divisible by 12 in order to go through all the characters. I'm not really buying this one, just because even in the Direct they show as a 4-player Smashdown that there are 3 characters left over. So that just seems unlikely. I know that wasn't a final build of the game, and King K. Rool hadn't been revealed yet in the trailer, but it just seems super unlikely. I mean, if Smashdown's playable before you get to the final roster count, as you're unlocking characters, you're not going to have that number that's evenly divisible that way. Also, DLC characters. If there's DLC for the game, not everybody has to download all the DLC characters, and you'd have to add like 12 more characters, and everyone would have to download it in order for that to work. So I think it's much more likely that when you do Smashdown, you can just have excess characters at the end, of the Smashdown that people just haven't picked. It counts characters a little weird. It doesn't count the Mii fighters. Just character counts in this game have been a little bizarre. Like K. Rool is technically the 67th character, but I think that's like counting. Not the Echo fighters, and then There's like also right now on the website it says 71 characters, but that number is like I think counting the Mii's and then Pokemon Trainer as one character. So there's like a couple different ways you can count the final amount of characters or the amount we have right now. This was the case also when Ridley was the last character on the website. So there's a few confusing numbers going around right now that there's how many characters we have at this point. So for Smashdown to work, just to get the numbers out there, though I, again, don't think this is a true way to figure it out. I think you'd have to have either 72 characters, that's counting echoes, which I think would only mean like one more character, or you would have to have 84 characters. Now, 84 characters sounds about right to me, counting echoes and not counting the Mii fighters. But again, I just don't think it's that likely that Smashdown is a way to figure that number out. It's just probably in the ballpark of what we're going to get anyway. So final thing on trying to figure out the roster size here. There was a Amazon listing for the collector's edition version of Smash, and it said something about 71 fighters in the game. I think that was probably just because the website right now says 71. Like I said, there's a few different ways you can count it, and right now the website's saying 71 fighters. Even though K. Rool is the 67th fighter, it's like, again, for the 71 count, it's like counting the Mii's and Pokemon Trainer as one person or something like that. So I think that's the only reason why that Amazon listing says that. It's because the Smash website is saying that number. It's possible we get 71 unique fighters, not counting echoes. That's a potential number. That would mean K. Rool at 67, so we get 68, 69, 70, 71. We get 4 more fighters that are unique. I could see that happening. That's kind of my conservative estimate. I'm kind of thinking 4 to 6 more unique fighters. Usually when I make rosters, I'm guessing around that. So could happen, and that could be a leak. But right now I'm thinking that number is just coming off of the Smash Brothers website. That's pretty much everything I've found in the Direct that's interesting speculation-wise for, like, what we might be getting, what is, coming and stuff like that. There's a lot more hints and stuff in the Direct that I will talk about in a separate video. A little more tinfoil hat theory, conspiracy theory-ish stuff. But, just for actual information that we have that could potentially, tell us who we're getting, who we're not getting, that's pretty much all I've found. So stay tuned for those 2 other videos. One's going to be on the hints and stuff, and the other one just about, where we're at with leaks and the leakers and stuff. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. Really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.